Imagine Tim Walz, a Midwestern everyman, the cardigan-clad, hot-dish-serving governor, who's been gliding on Minnesota nice like it's his personal superpower. He's the guy you trust to fix your fence or coach your kid's soccer team steady, safe, boring, and comforting way. Or so. He thought then WHM Lindy Li crashes the party, flips the table, and sets his carefully crafted image on fire. This isn't just a critique, it's a viral memo-charged roast, and Walz is getting grilled in a world where politics is. All spin and polished Lindy didn't just call out Walz's contradictions. She tore the mask off, lit it up, and danced in glow. Let's dive into this glorious chaos, because it's a masterclass in how to shred a politician's ego with truth, sarcasm, and a killer internet connection. Walz thought he was bulletproof, sailing toward 2025 with his "ah shucks" charm and a resume screaming trustworthy neighbor. He's a guy who'd smile, pat your back, and say, "Don't worry, I've got this," while your house burns, your Wi-Fi dies, and a raccoon trashes your garage smooth on top, chaos below. That's the Walz illusion, until Lindy Li rolled in with a wrecking ball and zero patience. She didn't just poke holes in his story, she turned it into confetti. And through a parade, suddenly the governor's squeaky clean reputation looks less like a warm casserole and more like weak old leftovers, soft, sketchy, and stinking worse by the minute. This is the kind of takedown that doesn't just hurt, it lingers, and the internet's eating it up like it's the juiciest gossip of the century to set up Walz's carefully built costume. To get why this roast hits so hard, you've got to see the costume Walz built his political persona is like a perfectly assembled IKEA shelf, plain practical, just sturdy enough to hold. A few family photos. He's a teacher turned governor, the neighbor you trust to water your plants, the dad joke guy who also runs a National Guard on paper. It's a slam dunk in reality. It's flimsy particle board held together by loose screws, and Lindy Li just kicked it down. She didn't just expose Walz's contradictions. She turned them into a viral circus, complete with sarcasm sharp enough to cut through his flannel facade. Walz's whole deal is being a steady-hand leader. He's the guy who promises calm while the world's on fire, the politician who sells himself as grassroots, but hugs DC insiders so tight he might as well be their ottoman. He's pitched himself as pragmatic, but his policy's a total mess. Shut it down, open up, lock it again, then shrug. When everyone's confused, his COVID strategy was like watching a kid learn to drive stick jerky, chaotic, leaving everyone nauseous on crime. He tried to straddle reform and law and order until he tripped over his own talking points. And don't get me started on his claim to the moral high ground, while his record screams establishment shine. Lindy didn't just point this out, she served it with a side of hot sauce, making his hypocrisy impossible to miss. Lindy Li, the sarcasm queen, who rewrote the rules. Enter Lindy Li, the political firecracker, who didn't just pull the pin, she lobbed the grenade straight at Walz's image and watched it go boom. She's not your average critic, not a rival politician or a boring journalist. She's a commentator with a gift for mixing truth with entertainment, delivering burns so brutal they go viral before your coffee's cold. When Lindy aimed at Walz, she didn't just list his contradictions, she turned them into a roast so savage it's practically a stand-up special. Her secret weapon, sarcasm, that cuts deep in a fact-check and spreads faster than a viral cat. Video take Walz's claim he never backed a national abortion ban. Lindy didn't just call him out. She dropped a screenshot from his own website showing he supported exactly that. BM lie, exposed receipts in hand, and a sprinkle of shade for good measure. Or how about his wild story of being in Tiananmen Square during the 1989 protest? Spoiler, he was in Nebraska, probably munching on corn on the cob. Lindy didn't just fact-check, she turned it into a punchline that had the internet howling who lies about being in Tiananmen Square when you're chilling in the Midwest. Come on, Tim. That's next. Evil, ridiculous. Suddenly Walz's everyman vibe feels like a script he didn't bother to practice. What makes Lindy's takedown so deadly isn't just the fact it's a delivery. In today's world, nobody shares dull critiques. People share the roast, the clips, the zingers that make you laugh while you nod. Lindy's not just exposing Walz, she's entertaining. And that's why her barbs stick like glitter. After a craft project, she's got the keys to Fort Knox, a flashlight to shine on Walz's secrets, and a bucket of popcorn to enjoy the fallout. And the internet, it's her stage, and she's selling out every seat. The fallout, a meme factory, and a political disaster. When Lindy lit the match, the internet turned into a meme factory. Overnight, clips tagged Tim Walz's hypocrisy. Speedrun flooded X with hashtags like Walz meltdown, trending faster than you can say Minnesota nicest teams trapped in a no-win game. Ignore Lindy, and it's like ignoring a fire alarm. While everyone else bolts for the door, respond, and you're stepping into a ring where she's armed with wit, and you're already down for the count. It's Political trap so perfect it deserves its own masterclass. The media split. Some outlets still treat Walz like the lovable uncle who brings potato salad to the potluck brushing off Lindy's roast as just another spicy post. But others smell blood, and nothing draws clicks like political carnage. Suddenly, every compromise, every contradiction from Walz's past is headline gold. What used to hide in Minnesota's dusty footnotes is now national news, complete with dramatic music fit for a true crime doc. His COVID flip-flops front page is crime policy, waffling, trending his cozy DC ties, while claiming to be grassroots. Oh, honey, that a whole X-thread, and the timing brutal. Walz stepped into the national spotlight as Kamala Harris's VP pick, thinking his cardigan charm would carry him. Instead, Lindy's exposed turned that spotlight into a laser burning holes through his curated image. Every flaw Minnesota voters might have ignored is now a screaming red flag. His steady hand looks like it's shaking a martini in an earthquake. His authentic vibe more like a Target brand costume with a zipper, showing the bigger picture, a system built on spin. This isn't just about Walz getting roasted, it's about a political system that thrives on image control, where candidates like him are packaged like organic produce, but turn out to be factory-made. Lindy didn't just expose Walz, she exposed how fragile that system is. His downfall isn't a scandal or a bribe, its exposure. His brand is crumbling under the weight of its own contradictions, unraveling like a cheap sweater in 1,000 sarcastic cuts. And once the internet decides you're the punchline, good luck taking back the joke. Walz's team is scrambling like chefs who forgot to preheat the oven. Their first offense. It's out of context, sure, because everything is these days. Walz could trip over a rake, and they call it an inspiring stumble. But once voters spot the pattern, flip-flopping policies shaky. Claims a persona that feels more rehearsed than real. No amount of spin can fix it. The Harris campaign sweating bullets because a VP pick is supposed to bring calm, not chaos. Walz was meant to be the reliable co-pilot, the guy who wouldn't spook moderates or steal the show. Instead, he's a walking meme, and every attack ad is being sharpened like a guillotine. The viral ripple effect, why this matters. Lindy's roasted just go viral. It opened the floodgates. Journalist rivals and online sleuths are now tearing through Walz's record like a whodunit, looking for every crack in his story. Exposure doesn't stop with one post. It multiplies. One sarcastic jab turns into 1,000 memes. And suddenly Walz's steady leader shtick feels like a bad sitcom, canceled mid-season. The internet's ruthless, and once it smells weakness, it pounces. What's wild is how fast the narrative flipped. Before Lindy's takedown, Walz was a background extra in the political movie, someone you'd Google once, then forget. Now he's front-page news, not for his policies, but for his contradictions. It's the political version of being remembered for tripping on the red carpet instead of your big role. And the more he tries to brush it off, the worse it gets. Shrugging looks like guilt, smiling looks fake. Addressing it just keeps the story alive. It's a no-win game, and Lindy's holding all the cards. A human cost. Trust takes a hit. At its core, this isn't just about memes or viral roasts. It's about trust. Walz's whole appeal hinges on that trustworthy neighbor vibe, the guy who'd never let you down. But Lindy showed his authenticity is more costume than character. Once voters see the zipper on a mascot suit, they can't unsee it. They don't want a leader who promises to grow into the role. They want consistency. Now, in a fiery election cycle, every misstep is dissected like a frog in biology class, and Walz just handed his opponents a scalpel. What makes Lindy's approach so dangerous is her ability to blend truth with entertainment. She's not just critiquing, she's performing. And people are eating it up in a world where boring critiques die in the drafts folder. Her sarcasm spreads like wildfire. It's accountability disguised as a comedy show, and that's why it's deadly. Walz's opponents are popping champagne, because the worst hit isn't from your rivals, it's from someone outside the game who exposes you, because that feels real. And in politics, nothing lasts longer than a sting that sticks. The aftermath. Can Walz bounce back? So what's next for Tim Walz? His team's got two options, and both are train wrecks waiting to happen. Option one, ignore Lindy and hope the fire burns out. Good luck. It's like ignoring a tornado siren while your roof flies off. Option two, respond and step into her arena where she's armed with wit, and you're already on the ropes. Either way, the damage is done. His Minnesota Nice brand is now a punchline, and the internet doesn't forget. Every time he tries to pivot back to policy or charm, someone's dropping a meme about his Tiananmen Square fib or abortion ban flip-flop. The Harris campaign's in a bind, too. A VP pick is supposed to be a stabilizer, not a lightning rod. Walz was chosen to balance the ticket, not spark a social media storm. Now every attack ad will feature Lindy zingers, and every debate will feel like a roast. The irony, Walz's downfall isn't from some juicy scandal. is from being exposed as a guy whose image doesn't match his record. It's death by authenticity, and Lindy's the executioner. The bigger lesson politics in the viral age this saga is awake. Up call for politicians everywhere in the age of X and viral roast image control is a house of cards waiting for someone like Lindy to sneeze. Walz isn't the first to get burned, and he won't be the last, but his unraveling shows how fragile a political brand can be when it's built on half-truths and shaky promises. Lindy didn't just expose Walz, she exposed a system that thrives on polished facades and hopes nobody looks too close for her. Voters, it's a reminder to dig deeper, don't fall for the cardigan or the dad jokes. Check the receipts. Walz's story shows how easy it is to buy into a persona only to find it's just a costume. And for politicians, it's a warning the internet's watching, and it's got a long memory. And a sharp-tongued Lindy Li just proved one viral post can do more damage than 1,000 policy critiques. So next time you're tempted to spin a tale or polish your image, remember, there's always a Lindy out there ready to. Light the match. Don't forget to hit the notification bell to stay updated. Subscribe for more powerful video.